What's up, guys? We're going to go into a game of Drop Zone here. And once I finish trying to kill these guys, I'll explain the mode a little bit more. We just jumped right into it, but it is the start of the match. I think we're like 15 seconds in. So I joined a game that was in progress, but it only had been going for 15 seconds. See that icon on my HUD? That is the current drop pod that everybody's fighting for. This game mode plays very similar to games like Dominion, game modes like Dominion, where you have to hold zones, except the zone is a bit more random. You don't know where it's actually going to be on the map. There are set spawns of where they're going to be, but you don't know which one's coming after this drop pod. So when it's blue, it's ours, and when it's red, it's the enemies. And there's a little outer circle that's white and it's filling up with blue. Once that goes all the way to blue or all the way to red, if it's the enemies, they will control that drop pod, and they'll get a score up at the top of the screen. First one to 5, or the highest at the end of the jetpack. The end of the timer wins. The highest at the end of the timer. So currently this one's being fought over, and no one can really get a good position on it. As soon as you get like 3 or 4 people in a good position around that drop pod, it makes it really hard to actually get in and stop it from being captured, and that actually might be happening here soon for them. So we'll see if we can still get into this. For the record, I don't think the Heavy Blaster is the correct weapon on this map. It's a bit more of a close quarters, so I missed that. When you're reloading, if you hit it right in the yellow, you get it like a free reload. It doesn't actually take any time, or it's like really quick. Yeah, so they ended up getting that pod. I couldn't push in there quick enough. They were all in position, like I said. If I would have just ran in there, I would have died. So the only way that you can kind of do that is if you have the shield equipped, and I actually don't right now. I have the ion shot instead, so I can kill people with the shields on, but I can't actually pop my shield and go in and try to like claim it while not taking damage. Alright, so they have control of this one as well, so this is not looking good for us right now. Let's see if we can get back in here and claim this one though. I don't think that it really matters what weapon you use, but I think because this map is a bit closer quarters, you could use one of the assault rifles, or even the pistol is pretty strong here. Like in this range right here, I'm at a disadvantage for sure. I ended up getting someone with that grenade, I think. But I don't think the weapons differ so much that you're at a huge disadvantage. So it still works. I can still do just as well with this gun as I would with other ones. They're just a bit higher DPS when you're close quarters, I think. Like that pistol is really good at those ranges, like, you know, 15 meters or less, maybe even 10 meters or less. I think rifles probably are up to around 30, and then LMG anything after that, or heavy blaster, whatever you call it in this game. But it functions similar to the LMG that you would see in any other games. The rifle actually might be better at longer ranges in some scenarios, because it does. That was good. He tried to jetpack away, but he did it a little bit too close. Oh, that's proximity mine, or proximity bomb. What was I saying? The rifle might be better at longer ranges only because it fires slower, so you kind of have more time to line up shots, but at the same time it almost seems like the velocity of the laser itself is a bit slower than the heavy rifle, so that would be one reason that it's not as good. Because you have to lead quite a bit on the one rifle that I'm thinking of. I don't remember what it's called. So I'm currently leading our leaderboards at 8 and 5, which I'm not doing particularly well, so that means my team is not doing particularly well in general either. We do have one. We're on the scoreboards, but it's 2-1 right now. Hopefully we can tie it up here. I'm doing okay, but I could be doing better. I've had really good games of this. I actually think that this game mode is like really good for like warming up. I don't know if anybody else does this at all, but sometimes I have like a game that I like to just jump into and play a map of to warm up before I'm like getting ready to play for a couple of hours, just any other game. And I could totally see myself actually playing this for like a warm-up game, because it's a very basic FPS. I mean, it's just straight up Dominion. There's no vehicles or anything that you can do. There's some power-ups, but they're not so strong that it's like hard to overcome. It's just like a pretty standard FPS with good graphics and pretty decent gunplay. And like the gunplay, you don't really have to. The recoil isn't that bad in this game, and at the same time, you don't really have to lead that much. So it's almost just a very basic point at the enemy and shoot. So it's really good for warming up for pretty much any game. Alright, so let's see if we can do this. There's that little piece of terrain that you can you go out of combat on, but it helps to cut off some distance. So I threw down a proximity mine there. I'm gonna actually hold this position, and this is a really good position to have on this drop pod, because behind me there's just like nothing. There's no way to get behind me, so I'm like not really flankable at this point. And I have a good lock on the drop pod right here and make it so that they can't get up to it and take it over. So we should be able to take it to 3-2 here, hopefully. My teammates are a little bit more pushed up. You want to stay kind of behind it so that they have to get into this exposed position right up in here, and then you can pop out and shoot them, which is kind of what I'm watching for. So that was a pretty good move. And actually I got killed by that. Proximity mine! Nice, I got him. That's good. So that should actually, yeah. So he would have been able to save that if that proximity mine didn't kill him. That's really good. Ooh, that was a sniper. Body shot. Alright. Oh, I got someone with that grenade. He actually jumped right on it. I don't tend to play around with the sniper rifle all that much. This game seems fairly fast-paced. I think the faster paced the game is, the worse snipers are. But obviously, some people disagree with that. But I prefer these faster-paced games to just kind of get into the heat of the combat and run and gun kind of thing. There's always a bit of a learning curve when it comes to sniping as well, figuring out the bullet velocity and how much drop is on the bullet and stuff like that. Because every game is like just different enough where you have to figure out all of the mechanics, and I don't find it that worth it for a game that's in beta that I'm probably not going to buy. So 3-3 right now. I actually don't know what happens if maybe it forces someone to get up to 5. Before the end of the timer. Although you should be able to trade back and forth, so there's no way that that would happen. I'm wondering what happens if the teams are tied. I wonder if it goes to like the team with the highest score, or if there's a draw mechanic in the game. I don't really know. I haven't played this mode nearly as much as the other one because it's, like I said, it's very basic FPS. There's nothing that makes the other one more fun, like the TIE fighters and stuff like that. Although I think the other one's a little less balanced in some scenarios, to the point where I think I've played like 40 games of Walker Assault and I've seen the Rebels win once. Or twice, I guess. I think we just had a win a couple games ago on Rebels, but... like I said in the other video that I played Rebels on, I think it's more the team's not playing the objectives rather than they're actually being imbalanced. So I tried to use my ion shot there to pop the shield, but it didn't really matter anyway because we had already claimed the pod. I think he was going to try to shield and then run in and get the last capture there. So we're ahead 4-3, but there's one more pod. I'm not sure if this is going to be the win for us or if they have a chance to tie it up, because the timer is just about to stop, but I think, if I remember correctly, it waits until this pod is fully capped before the game ends. So I'm kind of curious just to see what happens if they are able to actually claim this. It's a pretty close game though. Most of these games get one-sided one way or the other, just because there's only 8 players, and if you have 1 or 2 really good players, you can kind of win the game by itself. Mostly because, like, if you kill someone, they spawn so far away from the drop pod that your team's going to be able to reinforce and then just keep control of it. So I'm going to see if we can just keep kind of holding this position. Oh, he's going to get it with that, yep. So there's that shield mechanic. I wasn't able to pop my ion shot quick enough to stop him from taking it over there. This game looks very good though. Considering that I'm only on medium right now, it's a very good looking game. I said that in my first video as well, is like the graphics and the audio in this game are like 10 out of 10. Some of the best I've seen. Yep, it is a draw. Alright, so there are it is a draw mechanic in this game. That's pretty cool. Sort of. Some people won't like that, but I think we did alright. 18-13 is not too bad. The other team did a lot better though. At least some of their players did really good. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. That was Drop Zone, and I will see you next time.